My name is Charn, and I'm product manager for ServiceNow's source control and CI/CD features. Today, I'm going to be showing you a demo of starting from a fresh global app and setting up your first CI/CD pipeline using GitHub Actions, which we released recently. GitHub Actions wrap the CI/CD APIs that we released in Orlando and help you to get started faster in setting up your first pipeline for a linked source control Git repo. So setting up wise, I have my dev instance here where we will be using Studio to create an application. I have my test instance here where I have an ATF test suite set up already. I have my prod instance where we will be checking the version of the application that's being deployed as part of the CD pipeline. And here we can see on GitHub Marketplace the ServiceNow CI/CD actions that we have shipped recently. On top of the actions, which will allow you to chain together steps within a pipeline, we've also delivered a workflow template for you to just copy and paste as a part of getting started faster. You can, of course, iterate and modify this to fit your particular organization's needs. So let's get started. If we head back to my dev instance and go to Studio, we're going to start by creating an application. And we're going to say this is my GitHub Action demo, and we're going to be creating a global app. To enable this radio button, there is a system properties flag that you can set so that you can create global apps to track your global files. And now that I have my app created, the first thing I'm going to do with the app is to link it to source control. So here you see, we need a URL. Coming back to GitHub, we can create a new repository. I'm going to name it the same, just to keep it consistent. And great, now I have my Git repos URL. We're going to use the HTTPS option here for linking to our Git repo. And since this is my first time linking to the repo, I'm okay with linking it to the master branch. We're not going to use a mid server because my github.com Git repo is not posted behind a corporate firewall. And I have already previously set up my credential for my particular account using my personal access token. So we're going to link it now. Perfect. And we'll now be able to see that I am linked to source control on my master branch down here in the bottom right corner. And if we check back to my repo and refresh the page, we'll see that my app is here, represented as the sysID of the global app. One of the first things that we're going to do here is to set up our CI/CD pipeline as well as secrets, representing the environment variables that I want to feed into my pipeline. If you go to Actions, there are many templates to choose from to generate. We're going to start with our pipeline.yaml file and go back to our pipeline template and just copy paste it. Just to really quickly walk through what our pipeline template does, we have three different jobs. Firstly, the pipeline triggers on every pull request as well as pushes to the master branch. Our three jobs are build, test, and deploy to prod. In our build step, we are applying remote changes from remote Git repo down to an instance. Then we're going to be publishing the application with a particular version. If that's successful, then the test stage will run, where we will be installing that version of the app into our test instance, triggering the ATF test suite that I've already got set up there. If that passes, then it will not run through the rollback action, but if it fails, then we will roll back the environment to clean it up. And then lastly, I have a deploy to production job here that will only run if this is a push to master branch. And this installs that version of the application that we've just gone through the CI build for into my production instance. If you wanted to modify the pipeline yourself, you can always search for our ServiceNow CI/CD GitHub Actions and plug them directly into your pipeline. I already have everything I need, so I'm actually just going to commit directly to the master branch. The second step that I need to do as a part of setting up my fresh repo here is configuring secrets. These secrets are passed in as environment variables, so could include both my credentials for my service accounts, for my instances, as well as other IDs for the various steps represented within the workflow. So I'm going to take a short while here to plug in all of my secrets. And great, now that I have all of my secrets in, I am ready to start development work. Coming back to my dev instance here, I'm going to first apply remote changes to pull down any new commits that I've made to my master branch. I am then going to create a new branch representing a story off of my backlog. And as part of developing the feature for the story, I'm going to be creating a new script include, a global script include. And terrific, we can see now here that we have a new global script include, and we're going to be committing and pushing these changes up to the Git repo. One of the features that we delivered in Orlando was selective commits. If we had more changes, we would see more options here that I can choose to pick from. For now, we're just going to be committing this one script include. Great, let's take a look at our repo. We can see here that our new feature branch is present on instance now. I have nothing else I want to change to it, so let's kick off a pull request. We'll see here that a build has been started based on the workflow pipeline that I just set up as a part of Actions. And in GitHub, we can click into details and take a look at the actual steps that are running. So my first job, I am publishing from the dev instance after doing and apply remote changes down from the remote Git repo to the local instance, my dev instance in this case. And we'll see here that we were able to successfully apply remote changes. Now it is publishing a version of the application to the app repo. Perfect, looks like we were able to publish the app. We are also exporting the version of the application that I just published. This was defined in the pipeline earlier. And now we can run the second job, which will install the application on the app repo into your test environment. Looks like the installation was successful, and we are now running our ATF test suite in my test environment. The example here is a very trivial test suite, and that has passed successfully, and therefore we don't need to do a rollback. And again, I am exporting the version so that I can continue to use it later. We are skipping deploy to prod because again, this job only triggers if it's a push to the master branch, and this is a pull request. So coming back to a pull request, we'll note that the build has passed, and that's great, and we're ready to merge. For now, one of the things that you will want to do before completing the pull request and therefore the merge is to switch your branch back to the master branch. And the reason for this is so that you can run a CD build off of your master branch in a moment. Great, so now that we're on our master branch, you note that the master branch does not have the global script include that we just created on the feature branch. And we're not going to complete the pull request and merge the feature branch into the master branch. Perfect, our pull request is now complete, and we can take a look here in actions. And we'll see here that the continuous delivery part of the pipeline is starting. So now we're going to republish the master branch now from the dev pipeline as another application version and go through the whole pipeline again. Perfect, we can see the first two stages have completed, and because this is a merge into the master branch, we are triggering our third job, which is to install this application to the production instance. Terrific, so that looks like that was successful. Now let's check my production instance now. We were to refresh this in my company applications since it is a global app. I can take a look at my installed applications and find the GitHub demo and see here that the version 2.4.2.5 was published based off of the pipeline. So thank you so much for watching. That was an example of creating a new global app, setting up your first CI/CD pipeline based on the pipeline template and the GitHub Actions that we've published, as well as running through a GitHub flow for a feature branch merging into a master branch via pull request, triggering a CI build, passing that CI build, merging into the master branch, triggering a CD build, and then finally deploying into your production instance. So I hope that you can use the GitHub Actions to set up your first pipelines, and feel free to contribute to the open source project as well for the actions. Thanks so much.